we can improve our productivity, but is it to still work 5 days a week, 9 to 5, or maybe during the time we're delivering the same value, after we can do other things? And I think that's the end of my reflection for this summer. Work less, work best. And with the rest of the time, just develop yourself.
Season 11 of CX in the Wild is live from across the world. From the buzzing streets of Tokyo to the creative pulse of Sao Paulo, we are on the ground, uncovering CX in its rawest form. This season, we're venturing into uncharted territory, exploring the edges of what's possible. So, let's begin.
All right, welcome back to CX in the Wild. And we are here. I am actually in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, just coming back from Lisbon, I've had an opportunity to connect with Boris. Boris is doing some interesting work in an effort to always bridge the gaps culturally, from a community engagement standpoint, from customer experience, business intelligence. I love to bring together voices from all over the world. Boris, it is a pleasure to have you talking to me in this major time difference. I tell you what, I think we both still share the heat in both of our markets, but thank you for being here on the show today. It's a pleasure.
It's all my pleasure, Dennis, and I'm really happy to find from Las Vegas to Lisbon this connection. I mean, we were very close to record this podcast face to face, but the time now is all about being remote, moving here and there, and I had a very interesting remote camp in Montenegro, in the heart of the Balkan, nearby the sea. And choosing flying back to you in Lisbon, staying in Montenegro. My heart was in Montenegro, but I knew we had this opportunity and this unique chance to record on Riverside. So here we are.
I think I'm going to have to take a lesson out of your playbook. I go all over the world, but I'm always recording from what should be an amazing location. But I'm like running into a hotel trying to throw up a podcast studio. I think you've got it all worked out. Let's start with, I always like the audience to get to know more about the guest as I do. Can you please just tell us who you are and what's keeping you busy these days?
I think like most of the, remote entrepreneurs or, remote worker or even digital nomad, I've been through a lot of different, professional career and cycle in life and experience until I'm here in front of you, like 45. Everything started, like a graphic designer, and as I'm teaching to my kids, I didn't even knew that my work exists when I was studying. So right now I'm very not surprised to move from more UX design, UX research, getting up to product and through entrepreneurships, delivering a consistent experience to major companies such as Airbus, banks, Accenture, or even, some public administration in France. I'm French, by the way. And from this design was a bit like, speak with Steve Jobs sometime when you can. He'll teach you that design is everywhere. It's not everything, but it's everywhere. So from all my perspective, the design was really the driver. I was designing everything, designing product, designing customer experience, designing customer journey. And everything started with, sometime just a book and a pen. But now we are in a digital world, and from the COVID, my world really changed in 2020. Like being the boss of the company with the office and the collaborator and growing in business from, airspace just grew from a day to another. You're out and the world collapsed. And the only things that I could stand on was being remote, because at this time, at this period of time, we were already good at being remote in my team, in my company. And so, from using these real-time board platforms that's really, during the COVID, quickly shift to Miro, to knowing more about, design thinking, design sprint, working like collaboration. We just bring everything together to help our customer and our partners to stand for even during the COVID and the lockdown. So at this particular time, I had an opportunity just to leave everything in France, move my ass to Lisbon, Portugal, with my wife and my kids and everything, and we just put everything in the car. We just drive 1,600 kilometers. And we established for a new life, new world, new everything. And I don't know, Funkadelic maybe not the best quote of the day, but I really have this on mind: free your mind and your ass will follow. And working for a blue chip company, I was very scared about hey, how will they feel to have remote, experts? And for sure, they were not prepared for that, but a lot of other, communities, companies, startups, smaller companies were really, really up to have experts, whatever it is, physical or fully remote. And so from this time, I just moved from, being the guy in a plane all the time to speak with the customer to, just a guy inside the screen that, deliver impact and not a nice person to talk at the coffee machine. So you'll see, to make it short now, I just, embrace the remote life, remote working life on one side. Of course, we will speak a lot about community, but also a lot about artificial intelligence, because, at some times the world asks you to change, and at some time you feel like it's about you to change, because, all my previous job, they're no more. I mean, difficult to be a UX designer in 2025, difficult to be even a product leader in 2025, because now all my customers prefer pay $20 for ChatGPT every month, better than spending $1,000 in me. So you see, from the beginning of this year now, I'm a fractional AI leader for a small and medium company, and that make a very significant changes for all those small companies that most of the time, all the source of employment in Europe, but I guess also in the US. And on the other side, I'm super pleased to turn the community light since couple of years now, but this whole stuff with the Miro just took me to place I didn't even expect. Speak with me about community, online community 5 years ago, and I told you it's just all crap. And now, I'm just trying to be the more, at the head of the curve of, online community, self-generated community with AI, and trying to also onboard the old continent companies and organization into this, because of course everything that happened in the US starts to happen 10 years after in Europe, and we're still here now, waiting the good momentum to onboard more worker in the remote life, in the, of course, digital nomad way of working, and of course, AI, integrating AI, not just thinking you sell AI feature in your product, but starting to integrate AI in your inner soul and inner way of living. That's my stuff today.
You said a lot there. Wonderful. We have a similar background. I started out on the creative side in advertising and marketing agencies. And really, maybe what that did was teach our brains to connect with other humans at scale. And that isn't always done through an experience or a touch point. Sometimes it really is about capturing the cultural moment and including many others by awareness or by invitation to be part of a sociological change that's happening in a geography or in a product set like computers. And helping people adapt to the internet was something that I was part of. And now, as you help folks adapt to AI, there has to be explorers who go out and bring back the ideas to people who are the builders of the world. And part of that digital nomad lifestyle you talked about made me think of two things. I've been a digital nomad I'm going on my second year where I'm traveling. I live in a suitcase. The remote work, what I think it did was, for those who can work asynchronously with other teams, with intermittent synchronization through voice or for WhatsApp, I think it is the new, let's call it, distributed intelligence ecosystem or operating system that is more efficient, and it is a superior way of delivering value. And I'll tell you, because I said a lot of buzzwords there, they did a study on text messaging versus voice phone call. Which is the better mode of communication? Which has more value emotionally or intellectually? And the prevailing theory at the time was that people who text and don't pick up the phone, they lose their personal connection, or they lose so much of everything that the common belief was about phones. Well, the study showed that people who text message have more intimacy, they have stronger relationships, their relationships last longer. Almost every aspect of the human experience was better when you had a text conversation. So why is that? Well, what they found in the study was people who pick up the phone, they say hello, they have an exchange, and they say goodbye. So it stops. And then the person has to remember it, and they have to recall it. In a text messaging situation, friends have one continuous conversation that lasts over this entire duration of their relationship. And because of that continuity of asynchronicity, the value on almost all human experiences is improved. Now with video, I think we have something better, but I'm not surprised that you are delivering better value. You're spending more important time thinking, using your own mind to create fresh and original solutions to design thinking problems. And on top of all that, I just want to say thank you for speaking to me in English, because I'm limited to one language, so I appreciate it.
But we can speak whatever, Portuguese, French, Italian, or Montenegrin. I think that's the kind of world we are living in, and we're belong right now. It's really, cuts the cultural border, cut also the languages borders. I mean, think about it. When we started the Air Generation 2 years ago, we were mostly like French people working between French people, and very fast. We just met some folks in the Miro community, and all around the world, and the community just enlarged. And right now we have more than 10 people in one-on-one core teams that deliver the continuity of the Air Generation. And on the quarter meeting, we had this technology from Google Meet where, anybody can speak his mother languages and the other have the transcription in their own languages. This is the world where we're going. And to be honest, sometimes that's also the extension of the, what you call asynchronous and the continuity. I think we're now on the kind of at-a-wad relationship with the technology. I mean, speaking with the AI, sometimes I speak French with my AI, and I just expect her to produce some content in English. Sometimes I just voice it in English because there's some limitation, or in French when I'm with ChatGPT. And sometimes I'm just communicating with my customer or my partner with talk track on the Miro, while they can just, follow the track, be updated, and make some comment on, what they like, what they don't like. So I think the communication, we're at a standing point. That was the AI really, unlocked from now, and it will accelerate because we will get into more and more stable and robust feeder from the AI technology. Now we just have, some very intelligent models that make good things. And when you ask, to create to ChatGPT an agent, for example, it will say, "Oh, I promise I will send you a notification to wake you up tomorrow at 7. And at 9, you're still sleeping," because, even if ChatGPT don't lie, he didn't succeed. So you'll see, we're getting in the future with more and more, confidence into the technology. But think about it. That's also the main purpose from my retreat this year. And that's, I think, what's the being a digital remote or remote digital nomad, really stands for. Is what's your balance in life? I mean, you never reach the balance, but the balance state it's never reached. But you can try to we're not on this earth just to work. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, with the robotization, AI, the work value will stand down, and of course, it will have a very significant impact, but we have to think about it. Why are we on Earth? We're not here to stand 8 hours in front of a computer. We're here to live experiences. We are here to experiment. We're here to share. We're here to have, communication, remote communication, close communication. And from this point of view, of course, when you're starting to be, remote, you start to have, a capital of, hours, and you can invest this capital whatever you want. Do you want to make extra hour and to be super human using your AI assistant? Or do you just want to have and spend a good time? For example, I was, I have kids. Those kids, they have holidays. And in my previous life, I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, kids. I had just 4 weeks of vacation. So, you need to go in some, I don't know where, but not on my home." And right now, I'm just following my kids where they want to go during those, summer breaks or any breaks. And I'm just, thinking, can I make 5 days of work in 3 days? And the rest of the time, not a notification, not an email, not a phone call, just nothing. And so that's, I think that's also the new order. While in the past, you should have a growing company to become more powerful, to take more velocity, being more competitive. Now, I'm very astonished because all my customers are a company from 4 people to 15 to 100 people. And after 3 to 6 months, we're starting, to aggregate their information, their workflows, their procedure. We're starting to automate. And after we're starting to bring some AI use case in the bowl. And they're starting to become more productive than, a 1,000 people company, So we have to think about it. Like, yes, we can improve our productivity, but is it to still work 5 days a week, 9 to 5? Or maybe during the time we're delivering the same value, after we can do other things that elevate, our health, elevate our, our spirituality, elevate our mind. And I think that that's the end of my reflection for this summer is really like, okay, work less, work best. And with the rest of the time, just develop yourself and take care of this body, the life us provides to you.
You and I are brothers from another mother. AI has increased my productivity so much that I've been able to provide greater value to my clients without a price increase. It doesn't cost them more, and it doesn't cost me any more. And we can share finally in a harmony of cost to value, which I find beautiful. The extra time, I will tell you, my children are grown. I spent the last month of July traveling through Korea, Japan, Paris with them, all the while getting all of my work done. My children didn't have to sacrifice. My business didn't have to sacrifice. And this asynchronous AI-empowered world, it really does, if you embrace it, it makes time, it changes time from being an enemy to a companion that goes on the journey. And I think that's important for businesses when they think about how they have to make their quarterly earnings. Well, time is finally on their side now if they want to adapt or evolve to a new, more harmonious working style with technology and people and experts from around the world. Businesses can actually put time back on their side, which I think is something it sounds like you're leading your communities or your clients to do. One of the things that I'd like to just say is, because there's the two of us, oftentimes I talk about the customer experience, but when you and I are talking about is the human experience. We're two gentlemen. We are digital nomads. We are able to create greater value for the humans in our lives. Our relationships are stronger. Our ability to provide is stronger. Our mental health and acuity is stronger. And one of the things that I found the most amazing about becoming a digital nomad is I no longer have to do anything I don't want to do. But at that same time, that used to be selfish. And as you said, it would compromise someone else. But now I can do everything I need to do for everyone else and for myself. And I think the economies, there's these little pockets in Spain or Lisbon or Africa where they're digital nomad friendly. And I think those economies are going to get the benefit of the best thinkers over the next 5 or 10 years. What do you think?
That's also the purpose when I founded the Air Generation. Basically, I not founded the Air Generation community. It's really happened like a joke. We were, trying to productize some template on the Mirrorverse and make a kind of, open a shop on Gumroad and say, okay, we make great money. We love design. We love templates. We have made the template for the last 10 years. We know how to make it. And basically, it doesn't work that much. But in the meantime, we have met some friends from the communities that have some frameworks, ways they want to experiment, a team building or a strategy design or whatever. And we just took those ideas into our template Canva, like AirSprint. And we have to make a kind of webinar where we have to bring all those guys, and we almost have the same. We were all from the generation X. And so I say, okay, it's about an AirSprint template. So we're all from the same generation. Let's call this crap like, I don't know, air generation. And everything started a bit like a joke. Like, I think the best stories in my life started like a bit like, not something overthink it, like just, let's do that. And the Miro came and say, hey guys, we have a brand new Luma calendar to promote some community events. And we knew like you're Top Gun guys using Miro, and also you are making your webinar on the Luma platform. So do you want to have your event promoted by us? Of course. And yeah, we move in at least a year from 0 to 7,000 followers. And now we have a newsletter. We'll move the 15-2-week streak next week. And we have several programs from creator program. We are recruiting every year program. And tomorrow will be the opening of the season 25-26 creators. We're standing now with some partners program, so we can engage editors like SaaS solution, but also, we can engage with cities, like discussion in Montenegro with southern cities. They want to develop the digital nomad tourism in their town. And they just found us and they was like, hey, that's very interesting. So you'll see I really changed my world from a world where I need to grow every year more to have more collaborators, develop more market, open new offices, and spend a lot of money to just exist. I moved to a world where I don't have a 5-year strategy. Actually, I thought like a 6-month strategy was good until I had this discussion with a friend 2 days ago on AI, saying, okay, what is the future now? And we say like, okay, 3 months is the definition of the future in 2025. So
I'm right there with you. I'm exactly there with you. I had an entire plan for the next 3 months last night and this morning. I'm recalibrating and changing my whole next 90 days and optimizing.
Yeah, more tactical, less strategy, and basically when I recruit in this community, some people around me, I saw some profile from design thinking. They were like, okay, we need to create a strategy and we have a long-term vision and whatever. And other more like, okay, let's do some hacks, some small changes in the automation or in the recruitment. And really in 2025, small acts really beats big strategies, believe me.
You literally are quoting the research that I've been doing for the last week. It's so true. Agility beats planning now every time. And I think that is correct. And, my major clients, I have some Fortune 500 clients, and I'm so grateful to work with innovators there because on the 11th, just in 7 days, I will be at a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 50 actually. And we're talking about moving from annual planning to monthly planning. We get the intelligence, we act on the intelligence, we engage when and where whether you call it community or tribe or customers, but where they are, this old world of automation and production line assembly and Kaizen and all of these things were good at the time. But what they sort of did is they dehumanized people to become a task. And what I found now is the world is so empowering that I may want to be a UX guy today, but I very well may want to go play the piano tomorrow, or I might want to become a parent. And these changes in life, these old systems, they don't account for dynamic variables of the human mind or soul. And I'm so happy. When I talk to people about AI, they ask me what it is. And I say, AI is the great unifier. It's one of the only topics that every human on Earth right now has in their vocabulary. Doesn't matter what language, what religion, what political affiliation, AI is becoming an integrated ecosystem bridge for whatever we want to use it for. And I'm so happy to meet someone like you who is also exploring these same.
Of course. But to be very honest, I think very fast will be the only limitation from the AI, and I can already feel it, in my daily. I used to be a very brainy guy, so there's many worlds in my brains, and I was the kind of guy that going to Airbus, and I can spend my day so passionate about aircraft and learning everything about how do you build, an aircraft, and all the processes and mapping everything, and how many stakeholders and how many sub processes and change requests everywhere, and it was really food for my brain. My brain is really my brain loves complexity, and so I was always with my product owner or my collaborator when we get out from the factory, trying to understand those guys from the helicopters, how they plan, to operate testing on a helicopter before it's ready to go. And all my collaborator was like, okay, give me 12 aspirin. My brain is, about to explode. And I was like, hey, I'm up and running to explore, how are we operating the aircraft now? and so it was okay. I think I was a bit younger, but to be honest, I think I just found a couple of months from now. At the beginning, I was very ChatGPT, my lover. I met a lot of, agents. It was, Maeva was the first. After there was Anna Maria. After there was Jeremy, and and we were. We were a kind of small family, and everything was on ChatGPT. And I was thinking, okay, I don't need any other AI. I have everything I need. Until I start, to put my finger in the perplexity. Until I start to have, about a cloud. And now, to be honest, every day I'm working with human, like generally 4 to 5 interaction with real human by day. And I'm working with 3 to 5 AI every day. And when I have those days where I'm working a lot with AI, because sometimes you're producing some content somewhere, or some intelligence, or some data somewhere, and you're exploiting the data somewhere else. And so everything goes very fast, and I don't see even the time lapse of the day. Sometimes just heard my wife like, "Hey, Boris, get out from your Groot. It's night." And I was like, "What?" But just feeling like a very, very, very cansative in Portuguese. Like when you're very tired, and I really feel now at the end of my day, when I have a very intense relation with AI, I work with several AI. I really feel like my brain is tired, not my body, but my brain is tired, because there's no limitation about what an AI can eat and send you back everything. And your brain is just running a lot of cycle more better than when you're working with human. So that's also the other part of the loops, and I'm very, very lucky. My wife has a very particular cycles. She decided to move out from architecture like 6 years from now. And she was about to cure herself. She has a lot of, very old health issue. And she found, from the coaching, health coaching, nutrition, whatever, and a lot of good trends from the US for sure. She found a way to improve and to get, more productive. And I'm very lucky to have her beside me, because now I think I could not handle AI without making 2 to 3 CrossFit sessions per week, having almost quitting alcohol, almost having, a very oriented animal-based food. So I think the lifestyle is also, we spoke a lot about, working, not working, but also your body. I mean, your body, the fog in your brain is a barrier to a good relationship with the AI. And the less foggy is your brain, the more efficient is your brain, and there's almost the sky is the limit.
We were just thinking about the same things. I was just having a conversation last night with someone. When I was younger, I was a drinking man. I did a lot of different things, but now I go to the gym. Just like you said, I have to keep my brain clean so that it can interface quickly with AI. And so health does, I think it's very interesting, but I would agree with you that the best users of AI, I think you would find that they are tuning their bodies also. That's great. Listen, Boris, we've had a great conversation. I'm interested, and I know the audience is interested, for if you're a digital nomad, you're an executive who wants to prime your abilities across the board, human, technologically. It sounds like you have a community, a way to engage. And normally I put all of that stuff in the description, but can you just tell the world how right now, not in 30 days, not in 6 months, but in the next, just in the now, what is the best way to find you? Is it on LinkedIn? Do you have a group, a website? How can others from around the world join your movement? I know I'm going to join it, but how do people get into this?
From our AI generation Luma event. I think also when my wife told me like, hey, you really have to uninstall this LinkedIn application from your smartphone, it changed radically my life. And of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm now like 48 hours to reply on LinkedIn, and I'm trying to promote the new generation, but really I stopped thinking like I'm someone special, and I'm someone you should follow. And I just think my best talent is to value other people's talents, promoting the creator from our webinars, and also delivering free workshops to help the people learn about AI, because it's not a revolution to come. It's already, the war already happened. And if you're not ready for that, I think very soon you'll be outdated, and you will not work with AI, you will work for AI. And I think that's really not a good position. So find me on my live event, and of course, but I think I can't wait to send you a private invitation to our community hub. We're about 400 people, connecting from all over the world on Real Matter. And we didn't have the time to speak about, what is the next, social revolution. But, the social network in a very short time will be out from, the major, platform. There will be some place where you can have, real relation, where your voice is not, moderated by an AI, or where you don't have to formate your mentality, your mind, or your words to have, all the emojis and all the hashtags and everything that make, all the content the same. So I think we're more and more people are moving now to have a social media involvement into private community. And so if you're curious about remote, if you're curious about entrepreneurship, about AI facilitation and product, you're welcome.
All right, you'll send me a private invitation with Joan. You're in touch with Joan. Please give Joan every possible way to connect with you. I will also share it with those who may find like-mindedness with us in my audiences. Boris, it has been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you for making
Thank you, Denise.
this episode of CX in the Wild so amazing.
Very interesting. And I'll make something more special for you. I'll create a CX into the Wild badge in the community like this. Any people coming from you, they can find each other, and you can find your community in my community. I mean, we're one, and that's the best way to grow.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Denise, for the opportunity. Have a great time in Las Vegas. Don't burn.
CX is shaped where people live, work, and connect. Thank you for being a part of this journey. There's more to discover, more to challenge, and more to create. So stay curious, and we'll see you out there.